Caitlin Clark's new side outside of basketball and golf has fans delighted and asking for more. The Fever star's cameo alongside the longtime NBA pitchman instantly lit up social media. Caitlin Clark continues to expand her off-court profile, and her latest partnership has fans buzzing. The Indiana Fever star appears in a new State Farm commercial with Chris Paul, marking the first time the two high-profile endorsers have teamed up for one of the insurance company's signature ads. State Farm released the spot Friday, and it quickly took off online. The storyline centers on Paul being asked whether he is ready to retire, only for the familiar State Farm mascot to step in before he can answer. Clark plays off the moment with ease, sparking an immediate reaction from viewers who praised her presence on screen. "Caitlin is a natural in commercials," one fan wrote, echoing a sentiment that spread widely on social platforms. Another added, "Nobody understands how much I love Caitlin Clark's State Farm content." Paul's State Farm legacy grows as Clark becomes the latest co-star. Paul has been a face of the brand since the 2008 to 2009 season and is one of the longest-running athlete partners in advertising. Over the years, he has built a humorous universe around his fictional long-lost twin, Cliff Paul, and has shared the screen with several NBA teammates, including James Harden. He signed a one-year contract with the Los Angeles Clippers in July worth $3.6 million, returning to the franchise he once led. Sabrina Ionescu became the first WNBA player to appear with Paul in a State Farm commercial when they filmed the memorable "Nothing But Net" spot in 2021. Bringing Clark into the fold represents the company's continued shift toward featuring the most recognizable names from both the NBA and WNBA. Clark, who joined State Farm in 2023 as the company's first college athlete partner, remains one of the most influential figures in women's sports. Her arrival in the WNBA created record-breaking interest for the Fever, and she has since become one of the league's most sought-after marketing faces. Her appearance in the newest ad is brief, but her presence alone generated significant attention and excitement. For State Farm, pairing a rising superstar with a veteran who helped define the brand's modern advertising era is a logical move. For years, fans thought they knew everything about Caitlin Clark. They knew her jump shot, her range that stretched somewhere past imagination, her competitive fire, her charm in interviews, her unexpected putt-putt skills on golf courses, and her magnetic presence whether she was draining threes or greeting fans outside an arena. But what they didn't know, what no one knew, was that Caitlin had a new side blooming quietly behind the scenes, far away from the whistles, scoreboards, and rolling greens. And when that side finally revealed itself, it caught fans in the best way possible, by surprise. It all began during one of those rare quiet off-season afternoons when Caitlin wasn't training, wasn't golfing, and wasn't hopping between team obligations. She was simply walking through Indianapolis, a smoothie in one hand, her headphones delivering a gentle acoustic playlist that none of her teammates would ever guess she listened to. Somewhere between the park fountain and a bench dotted with sunbeams, she paused. A small crowd had formed, but not for her, for something else entirely. A young girl was performing on the sidewalk, singing a soft, original song while strumming a sun-faded guitar. Caitlin stood still, listening. And something clicked. Later that evening, when she returned home, she picked up the thrift shop guitar she had bought months earlier but never fully touched. She plucked one string. Then another. Then another. Something in her, something she didn't even know existed, sparked awake. Days passed. Then weeks. And slowly, Caitlin Clark, star guard, golf guest, endorsements magnet, quietly became Caitlin Clark, accidental songwriter. At first she played in private, learning chords with the determination that made her a generational athlete. She learned fast. Scarily fast. The same rhythm she used to find passing lanes and step-back threes somehow translated into melodies. Music became her quiet sanctuary, something with no stats, no commentators, no pressure, no expectations. Just strings, notes, and a sense of freedom completely different from the roar of an arena. But fans, of course, had no idea. Not until that one night. The Indiana Fever had just wrapped their community outreach event, an outdoor gathering that featured food trucks, mini-games, and a stage for local musicians. From the side of that small stage, a teammate, Sophie Cunningham, noticed Caitlin fiddling with her guitar case. "You play?" Sophie asked, raising a brow. "No," Caitlin laughed, then paused. "What kinda?" "Define kinda." Caitlin swallowed. "Enough to embarrass myself." Which, naturally, was Sophie's cue to shove her onto the stage. The small audience didn't know what was happening at first. They were clapping politely, chatting softly, scrolling through their phones, until they realized who had stepped up. "Wait, is that Caitlin Clark? No way. Is she about to sing?" Phones shot up like a field of digital sunflowers. A hush fell. Caitlin stared at the microphone, stared at the crowd, stared at her guitar like it might betray her at any moment. But when she strummed the first chord, a warm, steady sound that vibrated straight through her nerves, she exhaled. The melody was simple, something she'd written while doodling lyrics after a long practice. A song about feeling caught between two worlds, athlete and person, spotlight and shadow, noise and silence. Her voice, unexpectedly soft but steady, carried across the dimming outdoor lights. People stopped mid-sentence. Kids sat down in the grass. A dog even stopped barking. By the final chord, there was no cheering at first, just stunned silence. Then a wave of applause surged like a rising tide. Her teammates jumped up, shouting, laughing, cheering louder than anyone. And within minutes, the clips flooded social media. "Caitlin Clark can sing? Girl just dropped a better debut than half the industry. She's not just a hooper, she's a whole Renaissance woman. We need a full album." Immediately, it became the moment of the off-season. Suddenly, reporters were asking about it. Fans were begging for more. Musicians were sliding into her DMs asking for collaborations. Someone even jokingly asked if she would perform the national anthem at a Fever game next season. Caitlin laughed it all off, but secretly, it thrilled her. Not the attention, but the idea that people saw her as more than just the girl who hit 30-foot threes. It felt freeing. Still, she didn't want to rush into anything. So instead of dropping a surprise single or announcing an EP, she did something more Caitlin-esque. She started a series of casual, late-night Instagram lives titled Strings and Things, where she chatted with fans while gently strumming, sharing pieces of unfinished songs, melodies in progress, or simply goofy mini-riffs she made up on the spot. Fans adored it. They said it made her feel more real, more grounded. They said it was refreshing to see a superstar who didn't mind being a beginner at something again. They admired the vulnerability, the courage, the playfulness. By mid-season, Caitlin wasn't just known for her shooting range anymore. She was known for her sincerity, her creativity, her surprising ability to craft verses that felt like they belonged on a mixtape.